Yes, so my name is Jeanne Perrett. I may have met some of you in person, or maybe you've attended another webinar of mine. So I'm English, but I live in Greece, so it's 6 o'clock in the evening here in Greece. And very nice to see people literally from all over the world. So thank you so much for joining us. Well, today we're going to be talking about teaching very young learners. In other words, children aged 3 to 6. Okay, and as you can see, the title of my talk is Feel Reassured, Feel Inspired, and Personalising Your Pre-Primary Teaching. Right, okay, so now then, as we know, any classes which have more than one student in them are always mixed ability. Yeah, so as soon as you've got 2 students, it's mixed ability. But when we're talking about very young learners, in other words, children aged 3 to 6, they're even more mixed ability than the older ones. And this is because many of them it might be the first time that they've come to a classroom to learn something. They might have been, might have been in some sort of nursery or something. But somewhere where the focus is on learning one specific subject is probably new to a lot of them. Okay, so of course, the little ones, they're not, for a start, they might be confused. They might not know why they're there, and obviously that is what part of our job, to let them know why they're speaking, what they're going to learn and how they're going to learn it. But also they'll also be very focused on themselves with the other students. So some of them might feel comfortable in the classroom, and as soon as we feel comfortable in any situation, this goes for children, this goes for adults, as soon as we're comfortable, then we are receptive to learning. But a lot of them will be bewildered, okay, because they're coping with the different routines that they have to do, you, the teacher, and most of all, their other classmates, okay? So as soon as they're bewildered, they then become resistant to learning. So we have to think about all these different things with our little ones. What I'm going to give you some ideas about how you can start off your lessons, because I think that we as English teachers, we do need some support for teaching the very, very young learners. Traditionally, children started to learn English from the ages of 6 upwards, 6 or 7 years old. So most schools would start teaching English from from the kids when they're 6 or 7 years old, at which time they're already used to being with other kids. They're kind of they know what to do in a school. They know, they're more sort of socially aware like that. We as teachers, we might not have been trained as kindergarten teachers, because now worldwide children are starting to learn English earlier and earlier. Yeah, so parents want it, teachers want it, and ministries of education are recommending it. So it isn't kind of a new thing for us, really. So some of the things, if you have already been trained as a kindergarten teacher, you might know some of these things, but I'm going to go through them because a lot of us are just English teachers who now suddenly have to cope with very, very young learners. Yeah. So first of all, we have to reassure our very young learners, and we have to get them used to new routines. And one idea which kindergarten teachers use is a visual organizer. In other words, we get pictures of the routines that we're going to have in the classroom. Here's an idea that I've done a little sketch here. One of the things that we suggest when in my Disney Stars and Friends is that we start our lessons with circle time. All right, so this is standard practice in kindergarten classes, starting off with the kids sitting in a circle with you, either on chairs or on the floor, whatever is more comfortable for you all. And what I suggest is that you either find or you draw pictures to communicate the different parts of your lesson. So here I've done a little sketch myself here of a teacher and the children sitting in a circle. I think it's better with the very little ones if you make the visual organizer, the images, if you make them explicit. So instead of having like symbols, of, a circle or something to communicate circle time, I think that's too confusing for the little ones. So I think it's better if they see what they actually have to do. They've got to sit down. If you want them sitting on chairs, draw them sitting on chairs. I would also say that when we're teaching very young learners, it's important that we do develop the skill of being able to do simple sketches. Is one of the skills that a teacher of very young learners need. Okay, so I do often meet teachers as though I can't draw, which obviously also sets a bad example to our young learners, because they think then that, adults can't draw, and we're always encouraging them to be able to draw. So I think it's something that we can do very simply. Just copy a picture. You can find something, or you can find them online, these visual organizers. I've got another little example here. Can you see this? There we are. You see, that might be just a very simple visual prompt that now is book time. Yeah. So, and I think that these little sort of simple prompts, that you can put them on the wall, put them on a poster, or you can have different cards that you pin to a bulletin board or something, and then you can point to them. Okay, now it's circle time, now it's book time, now it's play time, now it's snack time, now it's home time. And especially with the young learners, make sure that they know that they're there for 45 minutes, and when the clock says this time, that's when they're going to go home again. I think the unknown always makes us feel anxious, again, at any age. So this is what we want for the children not to feel anxious, so they feel comfortable. Yeah. Okay. And when we're teaching the little ones, we have so many things to think of, because one of them will be upset because somebody's, I don't know, touched their backpack, or somebody's sitting in the chair that they wanted to sit in, or all these multiple things that can go wrong, and all these different things that we have to think of in the pre-primary classroom. And because of that, it can sometimes seem quite overwhelming to us. And it's sometimes difficult for us to keep track of our learning objectives and our learning outcomes, because actually our main job is to teach them, to help them learn to speak and understand English. We're talking about speaking, and we're talking about listening at this age. Okay, we have so many things to do, so it is sometimes difficult to keep track of these learning objectives and these learning outcomes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how we can simplify this and make our own lives much easier. And one of the things that we can use is the global scale of English, the global scale of English teacher toolkit. Okay, so this is a scale of English developed by Pearson. What it does, it tells you all the different learning objectives that children will need at a certain age, at a certain level. Okay, so here you can see how you can find it online. It's very, very easy to use. You go to www.english.com. Okay, and then you find the teacher toolkit, and then if you see under there, under that blue one, it says, well, who are you teaching? Choose the learner. That's a drop down one, and you're going to be teaching pre-primary. Okay, you're going to find pre-primary, or however it's said there. Okay, very young learners. And then the skill that you will want will be speaking and listening. All right, and then you click on the show results. Okay, you don't have to choose the range, because that will be done for you. The range that you'll be dealing with will be from 10 to 20, okay, from this age, but you don't, from this level. So you don't have to do that, just show the results. And then what will happen, it'll come up all the different learning objectives. Okay, now then, what I'd like to say is that I'm going to be referencing this course, My Disney Stars and Friends, which has been developed for 3-year-olds, from 3 to 6-year-olds. I wrote level 1. I'm going to be showing you lots of examples from level 1, which are for children aged 3 to 4, okay? And what we have done, the authors have done, is we have used this global scale, the global scale of English, in the book. So we've actually done the work for you. All right, so you don't have to go and access it online, because we've actually done the work for you in the book. But I want to show you how it works and how you can use it. So here is one of the first learning objectives, okay, for this level. Can understand basic fixed expressions for greeting and leave taking. In other words, hello and goodbye. So now then, when you see that, immediately you can feel a kind of relief. You can feel kind of reassured, because that is your learning objective for your first lesson, that they can understand. Here, we're not even saying that they can say it. They can understand hello, and they can understand goodbye. All right. So immediately that's kind of, so that's built in, that is built in to the first lessons that you will be doing in the book. But when you see it put like that, you just think, okay, all right, I can do that. I can do that. The aims and the objectives are very small, and this is what I like about the global scale of English, or the GSE as we call it, is that it's not like, you know, they can read or write, they can speak, they can understand it. It's very you know, it's very detailed. It's very detailed in what your objectives actually are. Okay, so you can understand basic fixed expressions for greeting and for leave taking. In other words, hello and goodbye. All right, so then let's go to our very first lesson in the very first book. And this is from My Disney Stars and Friends, level 1. And this is unit 1, and this is the first lesson. So here we've got Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, and we're learning to say hello, and we're learning to say goodbye. All right, so we're going to listen to it. We're going to hear the words hello, 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 and then somebody says goodbye when they should be saying hello. So it's something funny for them. And of course, what we also have is lots of activities. So here's one that we can do to learn to say hello. So have the learners, you get all the kids stand up, and they stand in a row across the classroom, okay? They can either stand in a row together or holding hands, or they can stand in a line, okay? Let's imagine they're all standing in a row, and you're going to be with them, okay? You're going to be with them to start off with. You all hold hands, and then you're going to walk towards, I don't know, put a teddy on the chair or something, somebody to say hello to, because you need to hold their hands to start off with. And as you walk, you're going to be saying hello, 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 hello. Okay. And you're saying hello to Teddy or whoever you've got, you're just saying hello to. All right. And then you're going to turn around again and wave goodbye, 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 goodbye. All right, that's it. Now then, once they've got used to holding the hands, you can stand and they can all come and say hello to you. So they're all going to march towards you. Hello, 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 hello. And then we goodbye, turn round, and then we're going back again. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. All right. Now then, what I do with this, and it depends on how appropriate this is in your school, if you can do it. What I always do is I get the children lined up outside the classroom, and then we knock on the door. Okay, and then we open the door, and then we walk in, which is, a proper life skill. You walk in and you say hello, and we all walk into the classroom saying hello, 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 hello. And then we change direction and we walk back out again saying goodbye. All right, so it's a very, very simple activity, but it's an actual life skill, because this is exactly what you want them to do. To say hello when they're coming in and to say goodbye when they're leaving. And of course, what we always have a chant, and we have songs, and so we can use the hello, goodbye chant as you're doing it, or you can just do it by yourselves. Yeah. Okay. By the way, if you want to make any comments, I know you're all listening, but if you want to make any comments or any questions, we can always have a look at those questions afterwards. If you want to put them in the chat box, then do feel free to join in. Okay, all right, so that's hello and goodbye. Hang on a second, let me do that. Yeah. All right, now then, here's another one. Here's another one from the global scale of English, that the children can introduce themselves using a basic phrase. In other words, I'm Jeanne, or my name is Jeanne. That's another learning objective. Now then, as you can see, again, it's kind of reassuring. That's all I have to do today. So your first lesson will be about hello and goodbye, and then another lesson you're going to repeat the hello, goodbye song and chant and game again. But now we're going to move on, and you're going to get them to say what their name is as well. Okay, we do things in very, very small stages. Okay, and it's all done lesson by lesson with lots of different activities. Now then, one of the advantages, I think, of the global scale of English is that I feel that you could probably tell the children's parents, you could share these learning objectives with the children's parents. Now, as we know, the parents of the children are always a sort of big part of our lives, and even more so when they're very young learners, because we're the experts in language learning, and of course they feel rightly that they are the experts in their own children, but they're not the experts in language learning. So often their expectations might be unrealistic. And this happens all throughout the sort of primary English language learning career of children, and parents do often have to be kind of reassured that we do know what we're doing. And I think that this could be something that you could do, that you could show them. Today we want them to understand hello and goodbye. Today we want them to be able to say hello and goodbye. Today we want them to be able to introduce themselves, saying my name is, or I'm. Okay, so I feel that maybe you could, it might be a thought that this would be a way of reassuring the parents as well, because they want to see that progress is being made. But as we very well know, with with language learning, these things take time, and they're not all going to come home and be able to speak English at the end of the first week, or even maybe at the end of the first term. Some of them will, and some of them won't. Some of them will be shy. The other thing I didn't mention about using the chant, I suggest that you all chant hello, 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 goodbye, 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 group chants. And I think that, so even though in real life we very rarely chant together as groups, as an activity for young learners, for very young learners, I think it's an excellent activity group chants, them all saying the same thing together. And the reason is that even if children are very, very shy or very, very reticent about using any language, they can kind of hide behind their friends. So the confident ones will be walking along saying, hello, 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 hello. Some of them will have got it. And the ones who haven't, they're still joining in the activity. Yeah. So you don't have to say, come on, you know, Maria, you're not saying anything. We're not going to point that out. Just let them just join in. They might be mouthing it. They might be thinking it. They might need the time to just get used to it. So, you know, I think that I think group chants and group songs, then it gives a child time to be able to, you know, get used to language learning. And then eventually, and you often find that what they do is they go home and they do say these things, but they might still be shy of saying them in the class. And group chants and group songs and speaking as a group helps them get over that reticence. Okay, all right, so introducing themselves using a basic phrase. Now then, here's a nice little activity, and one of the things that comes with my Disney Stars and Friends is this lovely glove puppet of Mickey Mouse. And in the teacher's book of my Disney Stars and Friends, you will see that we suggest that you use Mickey at the beginning in circle time. So we've suggested that maybe you have like a little house for Mickey or somewhere that Mickey comes out of. Could be a box, it could be a bag, he could just be under the chair, he could be in the cupboard. But always make Mickey come out of his little house. So you're going to make Mickey come out of his house and he's going to greet you. And then we're going to start to learn and they're going to greet you and going to greet the children. So he's going to be saying, hello, 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 hello. This is revision of hello and everything. And then we're going to learn the names. So then you're going to point to yourself, say, hello, Mickey, I'm Jeanne. And then Mickey will say, oh, hello, hello, Jeanne. All right. And then he's going to be able to say, hello, I'm Mickey. Hello, I'm Mickey. And then Mickey will want to introduce himself to all the students as well. Okay. So then they've got to start saying, I'm Pedro, I'm Maria, I'm Tina, I'm whoever it is. And then make Mickey say hello to each child by using their name. Now, when you say hello to somebody, it makes a very big difference if you say hello and the child's name. Okay, and this is something that you can encourage with the kids, that they use each other's names. For a start, it's something they need to learn each other's names. So if you've got like 10 children, it's going to take them a while to all learn each other's names, but keep on using their names. It makes a very big difference when you hear somebody say, hello, Jeanne, rather than just hello, all right? It immediately makes you feel included, okay? That they've recognized that who they're speaking to. It makes you feel slightly important, okay? So it's a social skill, it's a life skill, and you'll notice that children who do use each other's names, they make friends easier, okay? So it's something that we can help them with by encouraging them to say their name. So then have Mickey say, hello, Tina, hello, etc. once they've introduced themselves to Mickey, all right? And of course, you could get Mickey saying some names wrong, okay? So, you know, maybe he could get your name wrong. If he gets the children's names wrong, then they might not be very happy about that, actually. It's probably better if he gets the children's names right, but he gets confused with you. So it's good for them to see that Mickey makes mistakes as well. All right, so very simple activities for learning, you know, how to say your name. All right. So now here's another learning objective. Can repeat single words if spoken slowly and clearly. So repeat, that's all they've got to do. Repeat single words if spoken slowly and clearly. So we're doing lots and lots of vocabulary learning in this level, okay? And that all we want them to be able to do is be able to repeat what they've heard. And again, I think you'll find that it's, yeah, you think, all right, okay, again, I can do this job. I can do this job. So even if it's like complete chaos in the classroom with half of them crying, half of them wanting to go back to mummy and things like that, this is all I've got to do today, that they can repeat 2 or 3 words if the words are spoken slowly and clearly. All right, okay, so here's an activity. This is from, again, it's from level 1 and it's unit 6, and we're talking about pets here. As you see, each different unit has different characters. So this is the characters from Up. This is Russell here from Up. And we're learning the words for cat, mouse, bird, dog. I can't remember what other pets there are, but anyway, 3, 4 words there. So let's have this little activity for learning about pets. So you need at least 2 pictures of each pet for this game. So you can use, with the course comes picture cards, okay? You've got picture cards of all the vocabulary items. And then, but you're going to need 2. So you either photocopy or you do a sketch. So you've got a picture card of a cat, and then you need another picture of a cat. You need 2 for each pet. All right. Or you can use toy animals as well. Maybe you've got them in the classroom, some toys, you know, cuddly toys, teddies and things. Then give 1 pet to each learner. So you've got a cat, you've got a cat, you've got a bird, you've got a bird, you've got a mouse, you've got a mouse. All right. And then they're going to get them all to, don't show the others what they've got. You give them to them so they can't see each other's ones, okay? And then they walk around the room, or they can walk, or they can skip, or they can dance around the room, and they've got to find someone who has the same pet. So they can say, I have a bird. We're actually teaching here, we're teaching I have a as well, all right? Or they can just say bird, yeah? Or they can make the noise of the animal, which shows that they've understood that a bird is a bird, yeah? And they've got to find each other. They've got to find their partner. So they've got to find the other partner who's got the other bird. And when they find the learner who has the same pet as they do, they sit down together. And then they're going to say, either they're just going to say the simple word bird, bird, or they're going to say, I have a bird. And then in the song, we've got this, we always practice the grammar as well. So here it's I have a bird, me too, I have a bird, me too. All right, so they can sing the song together as well. So of course there's lots and lots of different ways that we can teach vocabulary. So this is one of the ways that we suggest you can learn. They can get you know, having fun saying the words of these pets. All right, so another learning objective here is that they can sing a simple song if supported by pictures. All right, so of course we have lots of lovely songs for all the vocabulary and for all the little phrases and structures. We've got songs and we've got chants for everything. And of course, learning to sing is just as important at this level. Learning to sing English is just as important as learning to speak English. All right. Okay, so here, all right, here we're in the food unit here, and the food unit is with Olaf. All right, okay, and if you look down the bottom there of what's in there, so this isn't the vocabulary presentation. We've already had the vocabulary presentation. They're learning cheese and sandwich and water, apple, banana. Okay, so they're going to listen to the children talking about what they're saying. Here we're talking about I like bananas. They've got a song about I like bananas as well. And then we've got an activity that they make a sandwich. So we've got the song. And here's another nice little way that we can practice the food items. And it's by making a grocery store. So you can create a grocery store in the classroom. The children love playing shops. And you can use the picture cards, or you can use play food, or you can draw items, or you can cut out pictures from magazines to have extra items. But you've got the picture cards that you can use. So you put down your cheese, you've got your sandwich, you've got your water, you've got your apple, you've got your banana. All right, and this is on sale in your store. And then you give little paper shopping bags to each child, okay? You give a little paper bag, or just use whatever you usually use for the supermarket. And the children have their shopping bags, and then you are the shopkeeper, okay? With any activity, you need to always take the main role yourself, okay? So then you're going to tell them what you've got. Sorry. Take the role of the shopkeeper yourself. So you say, okay, come in, hello Tina, hello Pedro, hello Costas, etc. This is my shop. I have sandwiches, I have cheese, I have apples, I have bananas. Okay, and then you're going to encourage them to point and say, a banana, please. Okay, a banana for you. There you are. Of course, you can always use lots of other language when you're speaking to them, but always keep it clear of your objective. You can use more language, give them a nice, rich English learning language, an English language environment where you're using it, but keep in mind that your objective is for them to say bananas, or I like bananas in this case, okay? All right. Okay, so a banana for you. There you are, a banana. And then of course you could extend it to having a money transaction, because of course the kids know that when they go shopping, they've got to hand over some money or a card, you know. Nowadays we don't really use money, do we? They could pretend to swipe a card instead. Okay. Okay, and they say that's $1 for one banana, please. Okay, and then they pay you with pretend money. Or you could use real money if you can just use the loose change if you want to. Don't keep it, just have it as a plaything, as a toy. And then gradually, as they get used to it, what they can do is they can then become the shopkeeper themselves as well. Now, this sort of playing stores and shops is something you can do with lots of different things. So let's say you're learning school items. You've got pencils, books, rubbers, rulers, backpacks, whatever. You can have a shop selling those things. You could have it for the pet shop. You could have a pet shop. They want a cat. Again, you can just use the picture cards for these things, and the kids love playing shops. They really love it. And the more you just let them get used to how to do it, you'll find that they then start setting up their own little shops as well. All right. And of course, it gives them a real life transaction. Yeah. So good. So we like that one. That's good. I'm glad you like that activity. Me too. And it's something the kids play by themselves anyway at home, actually. So, it's a good game. All right. Okay. So now another learning objective, that they can name a few everyday objects, that they can point to something, a few everyday objects. All right. So here is a nice little activity for school items. All right, so this is actually level 2. This is unit 1 at level 2. And they're learning some school items. They've got lunchbox, pencil case, backpack, book, pencil. Okay. All right, and this is a little game. So what you do, again, you either, with the school items, you could actually have the items. So on a table, you're going to put down a backpack, a pencil case, a pencil, a book, a lunchbox, whatever your key vocabulary is, okay, what you're teaching. Then cover the items, okay. First of all, have them all point and say what's there. Then cover the items with a cloth or a towel, or if you haven't got a cloth or a towel, use a coat, okay? Cover them with something. Then you say, close your eyes, and they all close their eyes, okay? And then you secretly remove something and hide it, okay, so they can't see it. Then you say, open your eyes, and then you take the cloth off, and they've got to see what's missing, all right? And you can see them all working it out. And then they'll suddenly realize, a pencil, what's not there? Okay, a pencil's not there. And then you do it again, yeah? So then once they got used to it, once they got used to that game, then you can ask one of the children to remove an item. They can lay out the items, they can cover it, and they can remove one of the items. So again, once they got used to doing these games, they don't want to play them once, they want to play them a lot. And that's exactly what we want, okay, because all the time they're practicing, it actually takes some sort of mental effort to actually try to remember what was there and what wasn't there, and to see what was missing. And of course, especially if you increase the number of items under the cloth, or with the little ones, you know, it's going to be new. They probably never played this game before. They might not have played it at home, for example. So, you know, and you can do it, as I say, you don't have to have the actual items. You can have the picture cards as well. And a nice simple thing to set up in the class. And actually having some sort of cloth or something in the classroom is very useful. You can use it like maybe for a blindfold for a game or something. There's lots of little games you can play with a cloth, you know, a bit of material in the classroom. Okay. All right, here's another learning objective, that they can recognize familiar words and phrases in short, simple songs or stories, given some visual support and some repetition. So again, this is an understanding that they don't have to be able to, we've got songs and we've got lots of stories in the course. You don't have to understand, they don't have to be able to repeat the whole story, okay? But they can recognize familiar words and phrases in short, simple songs or stories, okay? We're always going to have other language around it. We've graded the language, we've kept it basic, but in any story, there's always going to be a little bit extra language, okay? A little bit of extra language. What you want is they can recognize those key words and those key phrases. All right, so here, this story is, again, it's in level 1, and we've got Dumbo. And Dumbo, in this one, we've already learnt clothes words, okay? So here we've got dress, hat, t-shirt. Oh, I can't remember the other words now but anyway, so this is the story. It all comes together in the story, you know, and Mrs. Dumbo is asking the baby what he wants to wear, what he wants to dress up. Does he want to be a pirate? Does he want to be a fireman? And in the end, Dumbo decides he just likes his yellow hat. Does he want to be a cowboy? Yeah. Does he want to wear a dress? So again, as they're listening, again, keep that learning objective in mind, that they can recognize those words, okay? So this is how we develop the language. And I think you'll see that because our learning objectives are so precise and so detailed, you can feel a sense of satisfaction in every lesson. Think, okay, all right, it was a bit chaotic, and some of them did something and some of them didn't, and you know, so-and-so was crying, and you know, so-and-so lost something, and you know, but they could all recognize 3 words. All right, so I think it's good for us. I think it's good for us to be able to see that we don't have to do too much. You try to do too much in every lesson, you're never going to get anything done. And children really appreciate clarity and short and small amounts of language done in imaginative ways. Because, say, like in this unit, we're going to be talking about clothes all the time, okay? For every lesson, but in every lesson we're taking it in a different way. We've got different angles on it. So you know, I think it's nice when we can see that we don't have to do too much. It makes us feel good, I think, and that's very important for us. Not all about the children, it's about us as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's a nice little game here for learning the clothes, and it's called the going to school race. All right. Get ready for school. So what you do here, let's say you've got some school things and you've got some clothes. So let's say you've got a coat. So you get, let's say 3 children. Let's have 3 children here playing this game, because they're going to run in the class. I mean, you could walk, but when it's a race, the children will always run. So you don't want them all playing it all together. So let's get 3 children lined up. Okay. A bit beyond those children, put 3 coats. 3 coats. Beyond that, put 3 hats. And beyond that, put 3 backpacks. Okay, then you say ready, steady, go. They've got to run to the coat, put on the coat. Now this is a life skill that some of them will still be struggling with. You might need to help them put on the coat. Okay, and then when they've got the coat on, they run to the hat, put the hat on, and then they run and put the backpack on. It's difficult to put a backpack on when you're 3 as well. So these are all different. So it helps them with these, you know, gross motor skills as well, of actually getting dressed as well and putting their backpack on. Now then, the children who are racing, who are taking part of it, they won't be saying the words coat, hat, backpack, because they will be very focused on getting to the coat and then finding the sleeves and putting it on and then putting the coat and then getting in a muddle with the backpack. But you and the rest of the learners can all be saying your coat, your coat, your coat, get your coat, your hat, get your hat, your backpack, get your backpack. Okay, so you know, so, and again, you can do it with other items as well. If you find that it's actually too difficult for them all to put their coats on, which it could well be when they're 3, you could do it where you have a backpack first, have the backpacks first, and then have a book, and then have a pencil. And they've got to get their backpack, then they've got to put the book in the backpack, and then they've got to put the pencil in the backpack. And again, you'll be calling out, your backpack, come on, Tina, get your backpack. Okay, all right. So, and then once those 3 have done it, then you have another 3 children doing it. Okay, and of course, you know, you do need some space in the classroom to do this. So you do need to clear a bit of space in your classroom. I know we don't always have as much space as we want to, but anyway, yeah, that's good fun. It's even more fun if you can do it outside. Of course, you've got space outside they can actually run. But anyway, you could ask them to walk, but they won't. They'll run. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the going to school race. All right. Now then, the other thing that we have in every unit of my Disney Stars and Friends is about emotions. So this is another learning objective, that they can say how they feel using a limited range of common adjectives. In other words, I'm happy, I'm cold. Okay, I'm sad, I'm hungry. All right, so we know that it's very important with the little ones, and we have a lesson on emotions, on feelings, on how we feel. Could be feeling hungry isn't an emotion, but it's a feeling. Okay. And here, what I've done is I've shown you that we don't just talk about the positive emotions, we talk about the more difficult emotions, because feeling upset is actually something that children are very, very, you know, they're often upset, especially at this age. All right, so and then we've got lots of different ways. So these are sort of ideas from the teacher's book about how you can introduce the idea of being upset. So we can use Mickey Mouse puppet again, all right? And then before you start this lesson, get a wax crayon and break the crayon, and put the crayon in Mickey's house, okay? The children don't see that. And then you make Mickey come out of his house, and usually Mickey comes out and he's very happy, hello and everything, but Mickey comes out there, no, he can't speak. Oh, Mickey, what's wrong? Are you upset? And then you have him say, yes, he's upset. Okay. Oh, why are you upset, Mickey? All right. And then you make Mickey go back into his home, and he gets his crayon and it's broken. All right. And he says, my crayon, look at my crayon. His crayon's broken. Oh, dear. And then, of course, what we say, Mickey's upset because of his crayon. Okay. Oh, poor Mickey. And then, well, let's see, first of all, if any of the children will think of how they can help Mickey. And if not, you can suggest to them, should we get another crayon for Mickey? And then, so apart from them acknowledging or seeing that you acknowledge that it's okay to be upset, and that it's okay, they can admit it, they can say I'm upset about something, just like Mickey. They can also find ways of helping each other when the other one's upset. Okay, because this is all part of their, you know, their social awareness, actually, of them knowing what to do when another friend of theirs is upset. Because you'll find with the very little ones is that they're massively interested in each other's emotions. So if somebody's very excited or somebody's very happy, they're watching them. If someone's very upset, they kind of like, they're watching this because they know that they felt like this, and they're looking to see the other kid, how is he dealing with it? And of course, what we want is for them, yeah, they have to be able to get upset, but they also have to gradually learn how to cope with their different feelings, yeah? Because especially at this age, they might often have tantrums still. And of course, what gradually they need to be able to learn to control those sort of extreme emotions in social situations, okay? And we also want them to learn how to be kind to each other, okay? But of course, it's no good just saying, let's be kind to each other. They have to know ways of being kind. We have to teach them ways of being kind. And here, a way of being kind to Mickey would be for them to go and find a crayon that isn't broken and to give it to Mickey, and then you can see, then Mickey can cheer up and you can praise the learner who brought the crayon. Good job, thank you. Thank you very much. You've made Mickey happy now. Mickey's okay. And Mickey, of course, will say thank you. Very important. But Mickey also thanks his friend. Okay, so we don't just have, you know, upset. We've also got, so here this is excited. But in every unit, we deal with a different emotion. So what makes them excited and what do they do when they're excited? And then there's also a chant. There's always a chant, and there's like sort of, we suggest little different movements they can do to show that they're upset, or to show that they're excited, or to show they're happy, so that they can express themselves. So, and I think this is something really quite nice, actually, in a course for very little ones, that we get them not just learning, they're learning how to express themselves. They're learning how to express what they feel. At a very basic level, we only want them to be able to say, I'm upset or I'm excited, but it's very important that they can say that, I'm upset or I'm sad, as well as saying, I'm happy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they can show compassion. That's what somebody said. It's absolutely true. And of course, you know, we have to teach them how to show, we have to give them examples of showing compassion, don't we? You know, we can't just say be compassionate. We've got to show them that. Yeah. Okay, right. Well, that's it from me now. And these are the places that you can find these things. So the global scale of English and the teacher toolkit. If you go to www.english.com, and then /GSE, all right. And of course, my Disney Stars and Friends, you can look at it on the Pearson English website. I say it's 3-level course. You've got there's the students' books, there's the activity books, there's the teachers' books, there's the picture cards, there's the Mickey Mouse puppet. There are videos. We use actual Disney videos, you know, small sections of the videos, you know, with the language so that they can understand. You know, we've changed what they're saying in these sections of the videos. Yeah, so that's it. And now I think actually there's going to be a link put up in the chat box, and if you click the link that's here, Sam's put up the link. If you click that link in the chat box, and then you complete the survey, and then you get your certificate. So, well, it's been absolutely lovely being able to talk to you all. It's a shame I couldn't meet you all in person, but it's been lovely. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all your nice, encouraging comments as I was speaking. And yeah, hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.